Hello and welcome back to Blame the Dice Wargaming. My name's Tim and FFG has given us some news worth looking at, and we're going to be looking at Darth Maul expansion, not the Luke Skywalker only available in America expansion, which I decided to miss because it wasn't available to us all, so I wasn't going to bother doing it. Here we go, we've got Darth Maul looking super sweet in his box. Let's get right into the model and have a look. Doesn't that look absolutely spot on? This looks insane. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this guy plays. The detail on the face there looks incredible. The Pro Droid's nicely detailed as well, and on the flight stands too. Now, I know we saw yesterday the Sith probe, but let's go through it together. Now we can see them both. So, Darth Maul, 160 points. So the same points as Commander Luke. Interesting. Let's see how he compares. So, jump 1. Fine. Good to know. Deflect while defending, you may cancel. Deflect, you may spend a dodge token to cancel surge to hits. It's a ranged attack. The attacker suffers 1 wound for each surge rolled. Now that's interesting considering we've just seen Anakin, and he didn't have that. He had something similar, but it was only the 1. So in this case, Darth Maul is better at defending than Anakin. Interesting. Immune Pierce, standard stuff for your good old Jedi. And oh god, I'm always great at butchering these things. Jojo Mastery? Anyone want to tell me how to say that, please do. While you're wounded, so you've got to have a wound token, you can perform one additional action during your activation, limited to 2 move actions. Oh, excellent. So what does that mean? Does that mean we get to do an additional attack? Your activation limit is 2 move actions. So we can still only move twice. But it seems to me that we could move, and attack, which is great. Or potentially, if you're already in combat, could we attack twice? Sounds good. I like the sound of it. So let's go around the side of the card. So he's an operative. He's a trooper with 6 health and a courage value of 3. So really, really good. That's a brilliant courage value for them. I've read defense dice, so he's pretty defensible, given the fact he's got deflect as well. Essentially, that means that, in essence, if you've got the dodge token, you will have the surge to defense. Otherwise, natively nothing. He moves speed of 2, and his lightsaber, oh, lovely, double-bladed lightsaber, 4 red, 4 white. There was so much speculation about what he'd have. This is really nice to see that they've given him quite a lot of power and quite a lot of variance. You know, the reds are going to be guaranteed hits. Let's just say most of the time that's going to be 4 or minimum 3 hits. Your whites might not do much, but you never know. Sometimes that variance could really be impactful. And speaking of impact, he's got impact 2, Pierce 2. So pretty decent. Not as good as some of the other lightsabers, but really nice. And looking at his upgrade cards, he's got 2 training upgrades, 2 force upgrades. So very similar to what we saw with Anakin. I nearly keep wanting to say Luke, but it's not Luke. It's because I'm bitter about this upgrade that came out that I can't get. Anyway, so let's have a look at the Sith Pro Droid. So observe 3. Choose an enemy unit at range 1 to 3 and in line of sight. It gains 3 observation tokens. So I don't know what those do yet. Maybe we'll read on and find out in a second. But that sounds like, as an action, you get to issue them with 3 observation tokens. So they must have some kind of impact, and maybe they hang around because 3 is an awful lot to give to somebody. So maybe they diminish per turn, or they have some kind of impact on them. Anyway, detachment Maul. So it's got to be issued alongside Maul. So just like with some of the shore troopers, for example, when you issue your mortar launcher, that's a detachment. So it's going to be at speed 1 maneuver from your main unit. So that does kind of mean they've got to stay fairly close. Hover air 1, so essentially go for speed 1, height 1 things, and incognito. So this is its own unit. It can't be shot at unless it's interacted with an objective token, attacked, or has defended previously. Pretty good. Interestingly, though, this is a detachment, but it's a special forces. So there's something to think about. 3 minis per unit, which is good because that makes this attack actually pretty decent. You're thinking you're rolling Z6 kind of dice there, which we've all seen the variance on that, and you surge to hit. So in terms of its health, it's only 1 health per unit, 1 courage value, and white dice. Does defend up, so it's not as bad as it could be, but not exactly super. Moves at speed 2, it's suppressive, and has comms up link. So that could be pretty sweet. In all fairness, I'm looking forward to see how these play. And I hope that this is an indication that we'll be getting some probe droids like the ones from Half into the game soon, because I think that would make for a really interesting, maybe low value operative, which could have a bit of a infiltrate. But either way, these look pretty good. So let's have a look at the cards. So let's go through this first of all. Let's see what we can get about his command cards. Oh, these look incredible. The artwork is fantastic. They do such a good job at FFG, they really do. Okay, so your 1 pip at last. More, while building a command hand, treat this card as if it had 3 pips Interesting stuff. So, Maul gains 1 aim token and Jedi Hunter. And when he activates, he makes suffer 1 wound. Oh, that is really interesting stuff. So that might mean, by the looks of it, you could have 3 1-pips in your command hand. If this is counted as a 3 1-pip, you will have the chance to have this other 1-pip over here, Duel of the Fates, as well as presumably a commander's 1-pip as well. That could be really powerful. Very, very good. Okay, and when he activates, he may suffer 1 wound. So that's pretty interesting, but I guess you want to suffer that wound if you want to call upon, what was it that he had before? His sorry, my bad, his mastery there, which means he can perform additional attacks. So that sounds like he might actually benefit from that. Really nice stuff. Okay, let's try to find some pictures so we can talk through these cards in a bit more detail. So here we go, that's what we're looking for exactly. The Phantom Menace, that artwork is the business. Okay, so this issues an order to Maul and 1 trooper. Maul cannot attack. Enemy units beyond range 2 of Maul cannot attack him. Interesting. Okay, I quite like the sound of that. A really interesting one. Let's see how that comes out. So this is Divulge card. So deploy unit setup. Maul gains Infiltrate during his first round. Maul and friendly KR. So I can't speak today. And friendly DRK1 Sith Pro Droids cannot perform objective card actions. Discard this card after it's revealed. Okay, then that's pretty solid. So in this case, he's going to be able to deploy with his little droids somewhat on the battlefield outside of range 3 for somebody else. Really nice. And it's Divulge, so it's one of those ones where you're not hamstrung. You can do it when it's time to do it. And let's find that other 1-pip he's got. Okay, so here it is, Duel of the Fates. Maul gains 1 dodge token and disengage. Oh, excellent. So he's going to get his dodge for his ability to surge to block things back. If necessary, he's going to gain disengage, which means melee. He can leave it without penalty. While Maul is engaged with an enemy unit, that unit cannot spend aim token. Oh my goodness, cannot spend aim tokens, dodge tokens, standby tokens, or surge tokens. When you think about the way, particularly some of the Jedi on the Republic side of things, how surge dependent they are and how they have so much of a build on their command cards around surge, this is so impactful against your Obi-Wans and your Anakin Skywalkers. Not being able to spend dodge tokens is also going to be pretty good against the likes of your Luke Skywalker, or essentially, let's be honest, most Force players who are going to be running with Force reflexes. So that's really good. And they can't spend aim tokens. That just gives him some real survivability. So I like the sound of that. And I don't know if you're going to want to use disengage, but if you were going to attack twice, if you've got his whatever mastery it was before, so you might get 2 attacks and then be able to disengage because you've got that as one of those was free. If I'm interpreting that right, that could be really good, and you could put yourself after attacking 2 of them, and then you were then sticking away from them with a dodge token and join that, if they've attacked you first, they wouldn't be able to spend these tokens. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm sure there's going to be some really good ways to play that, and I look forward to seeing that one on the battlefield. But no. So Fear, Demoralize 1, essentially, it gives enemy units at range 1 to 2 suppression tokens. So nothing fancy, but for 3 points, pretty good, and a nice way to make them less effective. Seize Initiative, this is a new one. It is something that means you can issue yourself an order for free, which is always nice. I think I described it last time as like a free HQ uplink, but you've got to burn it. So when it's gone, it's gone. But for 5 points, I think that's really worth it. Offensive Stance, this one allows you to flip this card and get 2 aim tokens instead of 1. And the converse side lets you do the same thing. You get to flip the card, but you get 2 dodge tokens instead of 1. But in both cases, if you get the aim tokens, you can't spend dodge. If you get dodge tokens, you can't spend aim. Interesting stuff. Offensive Push, gain tactical 1 after you perform a free move action. This is a great one for him. An extra aim token with those white dice could be really, really good. It's only 4 points. He's got 2 upgrades, so he can certainly afford to take this one. And let's see if there's anything else in here that's new. Anger, excellent upgrade card. So after you suffer one wound, gain an aim token. Given that you almost want him to be suffering wounds in some limited regard, this could be quite useful. Whether or not you're definitely going to take it on him, who knows? But I can see myself taking this one. I think this would be something really useful because, let's be honest, he's probably going to draw a lot of fire. So you'll be really benefiting from him having that. So just as we finish off now, we've got a little bit of text here about the observation. So this action assigns 3 observation tokens to an enemy unit at range 1 to 3 and in line of sight, and they can be spent later by an attacker to re-roll 1 attack dice for each observation token. Once Maul's behind enemy lines, his droids can quickly pave the way for him by scouting enemy positions and making them more vulnerable to his blades. Fantastic. So the observation tokens is going to be a way of making the enemies less efficient, presumably because you know where they're firing from, so they can't be as effective when they're trying to shoot at you. That's really good, particularly for Maul, given that he is going to have to get in close range to do his thing, and the fact that this is a range 1 to 3 is going to give him that maybe double move and attack if he's lucky ability, which let's see how that pans out, but I like that a lot. So that's that. That's the end of the article. A bit of a quick look through that, but it looks really exciting. I'm very interested in getting this one. I think for 160 points plus the 35 odd, whatever it was for the droids, seems like it's going to be a great bit of kit for the table and be a lot of fun to paint. Looking at that, as I understand it, the mini there, the red that you can see painted, that has been raised up on the mini. So for people like me who aren't particularly good at painting, it's not you've got to do that freehand. That's there for you to paint on, which I say thank goodness to. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe, comment, you know, the stuff, because that does help out. It helps promote us to the top of like YouTube's algorithms, so we can see what's going on and we can take it from there. Right, guys, really appreciate you sticking around. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're well. Goodbye.